Hi, I'm Ella, welcome to my channel. This video is the third in a small series that I'm making throughout the year to help prepare myself for NaNoWriMo 2017 and hopefully get you guys prepared as well. NaNoWriMo stands for National Novel Writing Month and takes place every year in November, where participants aim to write 50,000 words, which is about the length of a novel. I will leave links to the previous videos in the series in the description below. In this video, I'm going to be talking much more about your main characters and how you would go about developing them. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to create character sheets. You're going to want one for every single character in your novel, regardless of whether it's a main character or secondary character. And this is because some of your smaller characters may actually turn out to have a bit more significance in your novel, and you want to make sure you have as much depth to them as possible. It also just makes for much more believable and realistic characters. Now, there are so many character sheet templates on the internet. All you need to do is a quick Google search. I'll leave a link to a few of my favourites in the description. Some of the main elements that you're going to find across all character sheets are the following. First one is going to be your character's name. I know several people, and I myself am guilty of this. I often start writing without actually having decided on some of my characters' names. So it's not as important to have the name of the character immediately. Obviously, some characters are built up around a name. However, if you're not so sure, this is something that you can think about once you have a much clearer idea of what your character is like. So the second major thing you're going to find on your character sheet is going to be more of the physical things, the physical traits. So hair, eyes, height, weight, age, skin, shoe size, all those sorts of physical things that are going to help you describe them. Other things that might fall into this would be their occupation, their family, friends, hobbies, interests. The third thing will be their personality. To help get you ideas for different personalities, it can be useful to look at horoscopes for different star signs, different dates of birth. You can look at traits specific to zodiac signs, or even try a personality test. You can find loads of different ones online. Just fill in all the questions, how you think the character would respond to them, and then look at the answer you get for help thinking out their personality. One of the most popular personality tests around is the Myers-Briggs type indicator, and I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. Fourth, you want to be thinking about their goals and motivations. Quite simply what it says. What do they want in life? What are they willing to do to get there? What motivates them to get to that place? You could look at a bit of their backstory in this. What's happened in their life so far that has led them to this? And you could also maybe bring in a bit of their beliefs, superstitions, and things like that. The next step will be their flaws. This is always so important in a character, because if you don't have any flaws, your character just becomes a Mary Sue or Gary Sue. The perfect character that has a tragic backstory, doesn't quite fit in, and somehow gets everything they've always wanted, and it all comes so naturally to them, so easily. If you have a character like that, 9 times out of 10, your story will be boring, and the readers will not connect with your character, they won't like the character, and that's not really fun for anyone. But make the flaws realistic. And you can make them as crazy as you want. The flaws make the character unique, and that's what's going to make the readers love them. The most obvious example of this is Jane Austen's classic Pride and Prejudice. It quite literally says there are flaws in the title. Lizzie Bennet is very proud, and Mr. Darcy is very prejudiced. However, this is what makes us like them. And it also gives us a place for the character to build upon themselves and progress throughout the novel. Which leads us into the next point, the character's journey. This character sheet isn't just focusing on how your character will be at the beginning of the novel, but how they're going to grow throughout. You need to think about where they're going to start and how they are going to progress mentally as well as physically through this journey. If your character doesn't make any progressions of any kind throughout the novel, again, 9 times out of 10, it won't be as interesting for your readers. And the final point, as always, is to always ask more questions. Think about yourself, think about things that you do, and then ask if your character does anything similar. Even the smallest details can help give your character that extra bit of depth. For example, I'm really bad at throwing things out. I have so many clothes and so many things in my room that I never use, look at, or anything. But I have a problem with throwing things away. Maybe your character is the same, or maybe they're the complete opposite. I also, for some strange reason, get really worried about being thirsty, so I always carry a bottle of water around me. Kind of paranoid, kind of weird, but it's something I do. And these are the things that you need to think about within yourself or within other people that you know, and just things that you notice about them. Maybe your character could end up doing something similar, or perhaps the polar opposite. I hope that's given you some things to think about when creating your main characters and going into depth about them. If you found it useful, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to make sure you know when the next video in this series comes out. Next month's installment is going to be on world building, so I hope to see you then. Till next time, bye!